Hey guys, welcome to Lovely J Podcast. It's me, Miss Coco Bowden. Yeah, y'all. It's a Friday night. I'm up cooking some Chinese rice. I don't know if you want to call it Chinese rice. I just know I'm trying to make some Chinese rice. And we're going to do a chat. Cooking chat. I love it when we do cooking chat. Now I'm having to clean this pan that I usually cooking in because I cooked me some popcorn. I was hungry. I ain't gonna lie. I was hungry and I said, let me cook something because I know I ain't finna cook right now. And I had cooked some popcorn. And you know how you get the butter? The butter in it and it kind of sticks to the pan? Well, that's what happened to me. And y'all know I'm one skillet Coco. All day long, one skillet. But yeah, we're going to talk tonight. I went on Twitter last night. Well, was it last night or was it at this morning? It was around, I want to say, it was around 3. No, it was about 12, but we did not get off the Twitter live until about 3 o'clock in the morning. It was almost 3 o'clock in the morning. I was like, I got to go, y'all. I'm getting sleepy. And I do say, y'all, please excuse my voice because it's still messing up. And I'm still going a little under the weather and everything. But it's okay. Because we got to talk about this thing. Narcissistic personality disorder is a person's personality. It's somewhere along the line. They were hurt, they were ruined, they were wounded as a child. And because of that, they became mean, bitter, jealous, and envied those who they think have it better than them. If only they knew that people really don't have it better than them. We all still go through our through our ups and downs, and they don't see that. In their eyes, their experience was so horrible that nobody can understand what they went through. Therefore, I don't have any onions. Hold up, I think I saw an onion today. Give me a sec. I know I don't be having my ingredients in order. I know. Bear with me. I thought I had someone. I don't know. This one looks a little rotten. I don't know, this may work. Right here, this purple one. I got a purple one. I don't have the other kind. Let me cut that off. Alright, so back to y'all. These people with narcissistic personality disorder, they wake up with hate in their heart. Animosity. They wake up and they put on their makeup. Now, their makeup is different from what you may wear, what you may call lipstick, eyeliner, whatever you use to conceal yourself to help you feel better about yourself, to enhance your looks. For them to enhance their looks, their makeup is called a mask. They have to put on a mask to get through the day, to get through the situation, to get through relationships. With me, I was with a guy who wore that mask. And, I didn't mean that. Sorry, y'all. I was with a guy who wore the mask, and he wore it so well that I honestly believed everything he told me. One thing he didn't joke with was the love word. He couldn't say he loved me. Now, I will say that about him. He could not say it. It was not in him. He didn't say it. He wouldn't pretend it. He wouldn't fake it. But he did say he loved the girl who I was pretending to be, which would have been my cousin, Trina. And one guy last night on TikTok, he had it down pat. He said, so you catfished him. And I never, to be honest, I never had looked at it like that. But yes, he got catfished by me. That's what happened. And because I pretended to be Trina, which was, why are you wasting like that? Oh, I know y'all heard that. I just wasted this water out of these veggies. I pretended to be a woman named Trina, which would have been my cousin. I was pretending to be my cousin because I wanted to see how far he would go and if he really liked me. Well, I became obsessed with being Trina. And I've told this story a lot. And I haven't told everything on adult stories about it. But, every once in a while, it still comes back up. Especially when I see him, it comes back up because those old feelings, and you can say what you want to say. But when you done spend a lot of time with somebody, you can split, but it don't mean the feelings can go somewhere. I don't know where they go. But all I know is something happens when you see them and you want to jump right back in to that place where you left off. That's all I can say for me. And that's how I felt, like I was jumping back into where I had left off. It don't look like this onion any good either. And I had to get to a point where I just said, okay, some of this is some good. Not all of it. I just got to a point where the best thing I could do was try to heal from what had happened. And how I healed from what happened was I had to admit to myself the truth. And the truth was, he don't love me. He don't love me. That thing hurt me too. I'm not going to tell you it didn't, because it did. It hurt me because I thought that this was my moment. This was, the man won't fussing with me. He won't fighting with me. He didn't put up a fight with me about nothing. It seemed like he was always by my side. He was always in the back of me, I wrote a song about it based on the good times that we did have. The man in the back of me. No, that's not the name of it. That's part of the chorus. But the name of the song is Being With You. And at that time, that was how I was feeling about him, was I don't mind being with you, because he was making me feel so good about myself that, I really ignored all the red flags. I ignored everything really about myself just so that I could feel good about myself. In a way, I was being selfish. And if I had not been selfish, I'm sipping on some water too, y'all, because my throat. Anyway, if I had not been so selfish, I probably would not have stayed in that relationship that long. Ooh, that was good. What y'all hear sizzling now is just some onions. And I'm going to pour in here my veggies. My can of veggies. I'm going to put in here. I'm going to use a half a can. I don't want the rice to be all veggies, because this is 29 ounces. Half a can is going to do it. I'm going to saute these down first. So I realized I was being selfish with my feelings. I was wanting him to satisfy my needs, and I wasn't really thinking that, hey, yeah, he's satisfying your needs, but at the same time, you're creating a trauma bond, is what they call it. And we were bonded to each other because the same, let me tell you, no one is exempt from being addicted to somebody. I don't care if they is a narcissist. A narcissist can be addicted to you just as much as you are addicted to them. The only difference with them is they can turn their feelings off. They can turn off. You know, and most likely they never had their feelings on anyway when they came to you. So that's the difference with a narcissist is they don't really come to you with feelings, and whatever they do feel, whatever their agenda is, they can turn it off just as quick as they turn it on. So that's a big difference right there. I would try to play little games and just to see if he loved me, and he didn't. He didn't even pretend. he wouldn't pretend. He stuck to we are friends, and that was it. That's what he stuck to. We are friends. And no matter how much I wanted it to go further than that, it didn't. I'm going to tell y'all what he said, too. See, he knew about my song that I had wrote. He knew about it, and the song says, y'all want to hear the song? I can play a little bit of it. Maybe a little bit of it I can play. I'm going to play a little bit of it for you, okay? Just a little bit. Did you see him? I thought that was him. Oh, I go out at night to play. I messed around and saw him up on that stage. He was playing his bass guitar. He saw me too. He was surely mine. The way that thing would boom, boom, boom. He was hurt. Okay, so that's all I'm gonna play of that. Anyways, on that song, you just heard when I said I saw him up on that stage. He was playing his bass guitar and he saw me too. Well, it happened this past weekend, like last weekend, it happened. I spotted him up on that stage. At first, I did not know he was going to be in the area I was at, and this is the first time we've seen each other in a long time. I spotted him up on that stage, and we began to inbox one another, and I said, oh, okay, well, you could have came out and hollered, you know, and I didn't think he was really going to come by and holler, to tell you the truth, because we was in public and we was out there in the opening and, you know, I didn't think he was really going to come over there, and he did anyway. And so when he came, he gave me a hug, and I immediately wanted to stay in his arms. I wanted to stay there. I'm not going to lie, I wanted to stay there. I wanted to be right there. And I started laughing because all these feelings started rushing up, and I was like, oh, no. This can't happen. This cannot happen because this won't end well. And those feelings were valid. They were real. And that's when I had to keep telling myself, you know this guy don't love you, right? He could talk to you. He could be nice to you. But I had a guy tell me one time, just because I'm nice to you don't mean I want you. Whoo-hoo. That's what he told me. Not him. But I had another guy tell me that one time when I was feeling myself back in the days. And I'd be like, I don't want to talk to you. And he said, you must ain't never had no nice man to you. Just because I'm nice to you does not mean that I want you. I had to apply this to that situation because I fell so deep for that man. whew, I felt so deep for him. And y'all, those who don't know what we're talking about narcissistic situationships. I was in that situationship with that man for 8 years. No. Hold it. It won't 8 years. It was almost 10 years. It from 2013 up until 2013. Let me see. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Yeah, it was around that time. Yeah. I don't want to give my dates and times away too much because I was talking to other people too. But he was my favorite. He was the one that I actually fell for. And what I'm trying to say is when this man told me he didn't love me, he didn't say it. He showed it to me. He outright acted it out. He didn't say a word. He just, when I would say, so do you love me? He wouldn't say anything. He would change the subject. Ladies, if a guy changes the subject on you, that is something to pay attention to because he could be trying to tell you that kind of way. Now, all narcissists do not, they all have a streak in them that can be very streaky. What I mean by that is they do have a trigger in them that can be triggered to cause them to be very dangerous people. But so do we. We do too. But they are a lot different from us because they really do suffer from these mental issues inside of them that they have not dealt with. So I don't recommend playing games with these narcissists. I be seeing these young girls. These young girls be playing with them young boys like them young boys don't retaliate, and they do. When you think that man is not paying you some attention, and I didn't know this man had set me way up here on this pedestal. I didn't know that at first. At first, he was introducing me to everybody in his family, meeting family. Just had me really feeling good about myself, tell you the truth. I felt like, yay, I'm here now. Look, Mama, I made it. Look, Daddy, I made it. Finally got another family. Man, I thought that I was so wrong. I was so wrong. He pulled me way up there just to pull me down. And it was when I came down. Ooh. I'm pouring water here, y'all. I'm sorry about that, but I don't know if y'all seen the TikTok of that man when he said, when I came down. Ooh. Okay, so it was when I came down. I came down slowly. He put me up there fast, and he pulled me down slowly. But with each pull, it was taken away from me. It was taken away from who I am. I just didn't know what to do, what to believe. I was like, now I know he is not using me. He's not playing me like that. He's a good man. I've seen him with his family. I've seen him with his children. And did I really see him with his children? Did I really see him with his family? Or did I just see him for a few seconds and automatically assume that this man was a good person? I saw him. But I never saw him, the man who he really was, until when my eyes really opened was 2015. When I knew I was really done was 2015, when I thought we was in a relationship. We was supposed to be in a relationship. It lasted 2 months, and that was it. Because I couldn't take it. I couldn't take it, y'all. I went to this program where he was going to be at, and he flat out just, he ignored me. Then he turned around, the same way he ignored me that night. I went to my sister's house, and I told her, because she lived near the venue, and I was like, I don't know what was wrong tonight. He acted like he didn't know me. He just walked on by like he didn't see me or anything. Didn't text me, didn't call me, nothing. We supposed to be hooking up, and it didn't happen, so I ended up spending the night with my sister that night. And I would get so excited, y'all. When I go see him, I would get so excited. I'd be dressed up. Now, before I met him, let's go into that a little bit. Because where I'm going to tonight with the he don't love me is how did I fall down after I found that out? How far I fell. Before I met him, I always dressed up. I don't care where I was going. I could be going to the grocery store, and I'm not going to go to the grocery store if I can't dress up, okay? So I would dress up going to the grocery store. I put on my makeup, hair, whatever I need to do. I didn't get caught outside the house slipping. That wasn't me. I always was nice, dressed up, and just carried myself in a really good way. And I did do housework. I did do cleaning and things like that. One of my favorite things that nobody knows about me is that I used to love to wash cars. Yeah, I used to wash all my cars by hand. That was something I loved to do. And at that time, I was still doing that, even when I met him. Because when I met him, what I did, I would, before I would even go see him, I would make sure I go wash my car up myself. I would clean my car up from the inside out myself. I wouldn't, wait for nobody to come do it for me. I just get on up and do it because that's what I like to do anyway. I really carried myself in a good way, in a sophisticated way, not a prideful way, but in a way that, you knew that I cared about me. That's how I did. And that's how I was throughout the situationship. I just always carried myself in a way that I was attracted to me and he was attracted to me. I don't know. I had to be, I'm not saying that to be in a cocky way because it took a long time for me to find the broody within myself. And so it would be like when I go out, I would have to say, if I like it, then, and I feel good in it, then I know others would like seeing me in it, and they will, they would get the feel good part too. And that's how I rolled. After I found out that he didn't love me, that he didn't really want me, after I found that out, that's when I started doing the workouts. That's when I just wanted to dress like a boy. I wanted to act like a boy. I wasn't lesbian. I didn't never think of going lesbian. But I wanted to be as far from beautiful as possible. That was my goal. To never get another compliment saying that I was beautiful or gorgeous. I didn't want to hear that word. Can't stand it. To this day, I can't stand the word beautiful or gorgeous. Because it was so much pain in behind those words. I had guys tell me that, and the whole time the guys didn't even really like me. So I didn't want to hear it no more. I was over it. I was over all that. As I said, there's just that time when once you find out the truth, you can know the truth, but once the truth hit your soul, I'm not talking about your outer eyesight. I'm not talking about your sexuality, any of that. I'm talking about once it hits your soul, it changes you. The same way, like when you come to Jesus and he cleans your soul, it changes you. That's the way it is when you think somebody loves you and you find out all this betrayal. That they really don't. They were just with you for the same reason you had said in the beginning that you were with them, and they ain't changing. And the whole time they talking to other women. So the whole time this guy talking to other women, and I'm just doing everything I can to just try to keep his attention. I was doing everything I could to hold on to somebody who never was holding on to me. He never told me he loved me. I got that from me. How I got that he loved me was from my expectations of him. It was from what I was putting together in my head that didn't exist. And the fall was great. The fall was great. I went from wearing wigs, dressing nice, keeping my nails done, hair done, staying dressed up, staying in contact with people, to total isolation. Didn't do my hair. Let myself go. Stop buying clothes. Stop cleaning the house. Stop getting out of bed. I did all of that. That was me. I stopped. Because he hurt my pride. He hurt my ego. He hurt my heart. He broke me. On February 2019. When he walked in with that woman and sat down with her, and here I was. I'd been waiting 8 years for him to sit down with me at a program. I had been waiting 8 years to be validated that you are the woman for me. 8 years. I waited for that, and I worked for that. I worked for that, and it didn't get me nothing. My work was in vain. Everything I did with him, all the conversations, the texts. One time I counted, I said, dude, we got over 10,000 texts, and it ain't even been, it's not even been like, it hadn't even been 2 months. And my phone was filled up with 10,000 texts. You know how many texts my phone getting now? Maybe from businesses, that's it. My children, that's it. So, the fall was great. I know y'all hear that water boiling. Give it just a few more minutes. Whenever it starts to completely boil, we're going to put the rice in. Let it cook down. I'm going to add me a chicken bouillon, and we're going to get back to talking about it in just a second. I actually like talking about it because once I healed, see, I'm healed from that. I'm healed from it, okay? I'm healed from it. But I can't say temptation ain't there. Because, like I said, over 10,000 texts is just in 2 months. You talking about we did this for 8 years. So I'm not saying all of it can be out of me. I don't know what's left in me of that. That's what I'm saying. All I know is when he hugged me, I was like, yes. And in my mind, in my body, I just wanted to jump up in his lap like I usually do. That's what I wanted to do. Because that hug was, that's what I knew. He knew that was something. He knew what always made me feel good. And getting hugs always made me feel good. That's why I became a hugger. Because I don't know, it just, something about it made me feel good. I like giving hugs and I like receiving hugs. So he knew that he learned me. He learned me well. And I got that hug. And, you couldn't tell me nothing last weekend. I had to calm myself down. Because before I know it, I didn't text him, what you doing? Where you at? Not text him, but inbox him. Because I don't think I have his number. I ain't called him or texted him in years. Oh my goodness. This is seasoned rice. I don't know. You know what? I don't think I'm going to be able to use this yellow rice in there. Because I put a bouillon and I do not want it to be. I don't want it to be. I don't want it to be salty. We still on subject. We still on key. Y'all just give me a second here, because I do still got I'm cooking here. I got grandkids depending on me. All 6 of them are here today. And I want to make sure that they eat something that they eat something good. Yeah, before that fall, I felt like we were the couple. Like, you couldn't tell me that we were not a couple. You just couldn't tell me that. You couldn't tell me that we weren't a couple because we was in contact with each other like we were a couple. And this is the thing about situationships. It feels like the real thing. Like we was doing everything that we weren't supposed to be doing as friends. Not with friends. You're not supposed to be hugged up on friends, giving each other massages and all good sexy stuff like that. you know. But they always say the truth has to come to the light. And that's my truth on that. I'm paying the price. I wrote a song called I'm paying the price for loving your ex. I should have known better when you were through. I wrote a song about that because I'm still paying the price on that. That guy, he was sweet as could be. To this day, the only way I see the wolf in him is I have to die to my flesh. I have to die to my cravings for him. He's like a cigarette. He's like a drug. I have to die to those cravings so that I don't give in, because I know to only stay with him would do me harm. I know that. It'll do psychological damage. Uh-oh. I know good and well that pan ain't trying to trip over there. Y'all hear it? I don't want to run over. But yeah, to stay with him ain't good. And that's one of the things that I had to learn, that I can't keep running back to him. And that's what I was doing. It was like every time I had a problem, I was just running to him, just giving him all my information, giving him all my weaknesses and my strengths. And I just gave myself to him. And to get out of that, I had to surrender to God. I was like, God, just take everything. Take everything. I said, Lord, I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with this man's chemistry. I'm obsessed with this man's dark skin. And I'm obsessed with this man's bad treatment. You know, people can train you to accept what they dish out. I started letting bad behavior be acceptable. And then I turn around and tell everybody, oh, he was so good. Girl, we had such a good time. Girl, you don't got no clue what we were doing. You know, I was here giving people pointers, and the whole time that I was giving others pointers, I was pulling over on the side of the road, booing, just pouring down tears. You would think it was a thunderstorm going on. I was just releasing these tears, and they weren't tears of joy. I was screaming. I was fighting. I was wrestling for my sanity. That's what I was doing. I was wrestling for my sanity, because when I be going to meet him, I feel so upbeat. I could clean the house. I could take a good shower. I could do my hair. I could fix up. But when I get done with him, I was drained. I couldn't do nothing for a month. One day of being with him would take me down for a month to 2 months mentally. And I just didn't put it together like that. That we just, we got where we was. Anything that has to do with sex, by the way, I'm taking on his spirit, and whoever else he's with, I'm taking on their spirits. And those spirits are coming on me, and the God spirit inside of me, although I'm doing wrong, but I'm still loving God. You know, it reminds me of David, tell you the truth. David still had a problem with lust. And I ain't gonna lie, that thing is still a problem. It's still a problem because, like I said, when I saw him, the first thing I wanted to do was jump up in his lap because that's how I do. That's what I want to do. And I had to just put that thing in check. I had to put me in check. I had to say, girl, don't you know he might got something out there? He might be done caught something out there from the last time we were together. Now, when we were last together, didn't neither one of us have anything. You know, we were clean. Just clean, you know. I share this podcast out. I hadn't shared it out. I don't be sharing out like I used to. But the fall came. The fall came and it started interfering with my career in music industry, gospel ministry. It interfered with my ministry and it interfered with my career. And it interfered with how I interacted with people that were around me. It got where I was not even coming out the house because we were texting he never called me, y'all. If that joker called me right now, I would just really be like, what? You know how to talk on the phone? Because he never called me. It was always texts. And I finally figured out why he never called. He never called because he was, he was married. He was a married man. And he also had other women, so you never knew when he was with the wife or with the other women. So he couldn't call. Texting was his best route. I just hate that I fell so deep. And I knew signs to look for, but I'm going to be honest. Covert narcissists are so slick. You can have all this information you want to have and still never know who you sleeping with. You can have their birth date, their driver's license, everybody they ever been in a relationship with, and you still don't know who you getting. Because the only way you going to catch it is you got to pay attention when that mask slip. And that mask do slip, but not only do you got to pay attention to the mask slipping, but you got to pay attention to your reaction to the mask slipping. See, the mask was slipping the whole time, but my reaction was what I had planted in my head. I planted the seed in my head. Oh, this is a good man. This man been standing by me. That's the seed I planted in my head, that this man is supposed to be for me. This man is going to be my husband. Not knowing that was far from his mind. He said, I ain't getting married no more, which I don't believe that, though. I don't believe he's never going to get... I think he is going to get married again. And I say that with... confidence that he will be married again. If he's really divorced, he will be married again. Because sooner or later, as men get older, and as narcissists get older, they don't change who they are. They just got to change how they do things. And in order for him to get through, he need to have a wife. He need to be cheating on a wife. He need to be cheating on somebody of high caliber, which means he's not, the main woman, she's not going to be low class like you would call somebody like me, like they, try to call me now. It wouldn't be somebody low class like me or somebody with no class. That's not going to be the main woman. The main woman is going to be somebody who has a following, somebody who dresses nice all the time, fixes up all the time, somebody who looks like they got it going on. Even if they don't got it going on, it's got to be somebody who looks like they from a high class position. That's who we gonna end up with. Somebody like that, and it's just gonna be fake. And it's only because he needs her for that moment to boost his self-esteem. But even while he's with her, he gonna be talking to every other woman, and he's still gonna be hollering at me too, just to see if he can, get a breakthrough with me. Hey, I gotta go check this chicken, y'all. Hold up. I know this chicken ought to be about done. Yeah, I believe this chicken is done. I'm gonna leave it like that. They're gonna have to eat it with some ketchup or something. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, I do believe that he would end up marrying a woman. And I don't believe that he will be faithful to her. Unless he can see within and change his ways and don't crave that fruit, he's going to cheat on her too. Because they don't change. They don't even change their patterns. They may slow up doing what they're doing, and then they go right back to being who they are. And that's why we call it personality disorder, because it's their personality. It's his personality to have more than one woman. It's his personality to feel like he's getting away with cheating on women or, staying with women indirectly, belittling and breaking women down. He broke me down. I can talk about it now because I'm pretty much over the hump. The hump of it hit. That's why I tell people, I know what I go through with this community watch thing, but that don't got nothing on, it don't got nothing on what I had to go through with him. Coming out of that, you see, it's been some years since 2019 that I went like no contact, probably seen him 2 or 3 times since then. And if I was to submit to him or take my submission away from God, I'd be right there with him. That's how strong that stronghold is. Even as I'm speaking to you on that, I still cannot say that even I know what I will do if I should ever come face to face with him and say, for example, my granddaughters aren't with me. I can't say in that moment. That's why I got to stay where I'm at. I got to stay in the moment where I'm at. And I just really try to, it's like my doctor had told me. He said, if you don't buy the sweets, you're not going to eat them. You're not going to be able to eat them. So I just try to stay my distance and not in a way that I am pulling myself back and being like, no, you cannot see him. No, you cannot go over there with him. I'm not doing myself like that. I want to be real with myself. If something does happen, I want to be the first to be honest with me, because I have never been honest with me concerning him until after the bad started happening. Then I ain't had no choice but to be honest with me, because that's the only way I could heal. Now, at this moment, I do feel that I am healed. I do. But those temptations are still strong because we had strong chemistry. We had good sex. That was not bad sex. That was good sex. You hear me? That was good. I mean, I got to do everything I wanted to do. You know how often that is for a big girl? A big girl can find somebody who can. Look, I've been with guys, okay? Let's not play around the bush. I've been with guys as a plus size woman, and I hated the sex. I hated it. I hated it. Didn't like it. Plus size woman, they didn't do what I wanted them to do. They didn't do it how I wanted them to do it. And then someone, when I would ask them or tell them what it was that I liked, they couldn't get it right. And it was miserable sex. It was like one and done. I'd be like, no. So every time they come back, I'd be like, Or I wouldn't talk to them anymore. I hang up the phone on them, or I change my phone number, block their number. I mean, I was serious about it. One thing I can tell you about me, I do take sex serious, okay? I take that serious, so serious to the point of if you're not in line with me, you're not going to see me anymore. No. I tell God, I be praying to God, Lord, give me a man who's compatible with my likes and my needs, or however you think, we need to be in that area, so that we don't have to run out looking for what we like. We have it at home. Because it's hard to find somebody who will just, I would say, and that's the thing that got me, because he submitted to me sexually. And that was a major turn on for me. I had only been with 2 other people who could do that the way that I liked it, and they didn't have no complaints. But he was number one. Out of the 3, he was number one. And I'm talking about over the course of years, y'all. I'm not talking about, all at the same time. But throughout the years, he was the number one that could, he was right. He submitted. I mean, and that was a big turn on to me. I had one guy tell me, he was like, girl, no, I don't gonna get down like that. And I'll be like, what? Because I just, we have our own preference of what we like to do and how we like to do it, okay? And as a big woman, I hate to come and take me a nice, good bath, shower, whatever, clean myself up, smell good, look good for you, and then you come bring me some bap. What? Now listen, I'm still saved. I'm just being honest. Let me live. I'm being honest with you. I would hate for that. I had that happen to me before. And when you find that one that is compatible with you, and this is where the problem came at, when he submitted to me like that, that was the biggest turn on I ever had in my entire life. I'm stumping my feet on that. Do y'all hear me? That was the biggest turn on for me. I didn't want that brother to leave after that. Because I was like, wait a minute now, he let me do this. Let me see if we could do this. I was doing cartwheels. I was doing backward flips off the bed. Now, y'all, I know safe folk don't talk like that, right? But if we want to be right with God, we got to learn to let God meet us where we at, and we can't be lying about where we at. So where I was at the moment when I got with him, I was not saved. I had been baptized when I was 12, but I had strayed away from God. I was what you call a backslider at that time, whenever I met him. And so I was still in the world. I was still an alcoholic. I was an alcoholic when he met me. And he accepted me for who I was. Why can't the good men just accept us big women for who we are? See, that was my problem. I had a problem with guys liking me for me and wanting to be seen with me. And then I told him, and Lord knows he worked around that thing. He had an excuse for everything, and I just believed him. But big women, some of us don't have insecurities like you would think. We're not insecure about our bodies. We're not insecure about our sex life. But what we are peculiar. We're particular. We don't want to, because, listen, for one thing, it takes so much for us because we are big. It takes us a good while to clean everything up. So if we're going to mess my body up for the night, it's going to take me a good hour to 2 hours to get to what I would say is a good wash and cleaning everything up. It's going to take me time. So I don't want to waste my time coming to a man who's not submissive sexually. No, I may not be making sense to you, but if you was big, you understand what it takes. I'm not finna come up out of my home to meet somebody and they got some whack sex. See, that's why I stopped having sex. I said I didn't like the way the guys were doing it, and I stopped having sex. I hadn't had sex for 7 + 3, almost 10 years. I could go. I went celibate. And I was still an alcoholic and a drug addict at that time when I was celibate. But when he came along, I said, okay, we could try this thing out. I never forget it. I got out of church that day. I was singing. Remember I told you I won't say, but I was singing gospel. I was singing gospel music and getting straight out of church and going to drink, and I just won't say. I was going to drink. I really didn't know much about God, and they got me some beer, came home, got some liquor, and we're ready to drink it. And he texted me and said, what you doing? I said, nothing. So I'm just getting home to drink me a beer. And he said, do you want to meet up? I said, meet up? What you talking about? And I really didn't want to go because I'm going to tell you something. When you got alcohol, we want our alcohol over anything. Y'all, the rice, do y'all hear the rice is sticking? Okay, let me pull in here. This. I got to wrap this up, y'all. We going to come back on and talk. I don't know. My daughter said she wanted to battle me on TikTok. But that's what kept me with him. I was, he submitted to me. I didn't have to submit to him or do anything extra crazy for him. No. He submitted, and I was like, yeah. Okay, I'm going to keep you. You going to stay right here with me. So he became like, he just became my go-to man for my needs to be met. And then the more my needs got met, I started falling for him. That's what, y'all, narcissists, some narcissists are very patient. They know how to stalk and wait to prey out. They know how to do that. They know how to wait you out. You ain't doing nothing special. I thought I was doing something special. I wasn't doing nothing special. It wasn't nothing he couldn't get from nobody else, to be honest. But to me, it was like, yes, finally somebody who understands what I like and how I like it. And, and that's what happened. After him, after we went our separate ways, I did not have any more sex. Have not cared to have any more sex, and have just haven't really been interested in all that now. And I'm careful now about large females is, some people say it's easy for them to find people, their equals, but I'm going to be honest, for me, it hasn't been easy for me. Most of the guys who saw me, they just wanted sex, and That wasn't what I wanted. And when I said no, that was the end of that. But I still could go right back to him anytime I wanted to. He welcomed me back. Look, I could be gone out and try call myself getting with another guy, and he'd be right there waiting for me to come right back to him. I'm serious. He would be waiting for me to come back to him. And all this time, out of all that, he still never told me he loved me. If he loved me, I would never know because he never told me. I don't know if that was something with him. Did he have a jealous streak in him? He did have a jealous streak in him. I could tell when his jealous streak would hit. When he get jealous, his eyes will go, y'all know I'm big on eyes and things. But when he would get jealous, his eyes would go a certain way. And I could tell he was angry. And then he somehow he'd catch himself and he'd snap out of it. But for that moment, that brief moment, that mask would fall off and that jealousy would hit. After the jealousy hit, it was a cycle. He would look disgusted. He would look at me like he was disgusted. And after he looked at me like he was disgusted, I wouldn't hear from him for a couple of days. And then after a couple of days or maybe a week or two, which was punishment for whatever I did to him that caused him to have that rage in that moment, that punishment he would give me, man. Sometimes his punishment was he wouldn't text back. If he did text back, he'd text back really late. Or he just wouldn't text back. He'd ignore what I say. It didn't matter. I would think sometimes I was writing him paragraphs and he was writing me 2-letter words, okay. That was it. He wasn't a man of many words, but his face told it all. And do I think he would have hurt me? I do believe he would have hurt me if he could take me saying that, hey, I met a new man and blah, blah, blah. I'm going to see how this works out. Because I did do that a few times on him. But he couldn't take that in his face. Because sometimes it was just regular guys would come and, you know, they just might want to say hello or give a hug or something. And it got word that I started having to be cautious about doing that in front of him. Because I could look at his face and tell that. And I wasn't doing that trying to make him jealous. I wasn't doing that trying to make him jealous. I was doing that because that's the person I am. Over time, I stopped giving people hugs. I stopped going up saying hey to people because I didn't want him feeling some type of way. And then he'd be like, you can do it. But then as soon as I do it, it was a problem. Because I would get punished some kind of way. He would make sure he punished me. And if I was to do it, then he'd start talking to other women and hugging on them just to get back at me. So, see, it won't just, I don't know what he was. I think he was just addicted to me as I was addicted to him. And what probably made both of us mad was thinking, what if somebody else is getting the loving that, you know, and when I say loving, I'm talking sexual-wise, you know, what if somebody else is doing, you know, what we doing? That made both of us angry. Oh, Lord, we both sound like psychos. But that made both of us angry to have those thoughts like that. And we're going to talk more, y'all, because this has been an hour, and I got to let my people know that I am done cooking. Let me inbox them. Let me see. Yeah, I had to, it's just a whole lot that goes into this situationship. That's what it was, a situationship. We was jealous of one another. Really jealous. I got told one time, do you think that he's stalking you? And I said, what you mean? He said, because somebody told me one time in the industry that I worked with, they was like, you know that guy's watching you a lot? And I was like, no, I didn't know that. I didn't know he was watching me like that. Because he had so many other women there. I ain't think he was watching me, little old me. Not me. But somebody told me he was. He was watching me, and I don't know who else, but I know they said he was, and I don't know. I don't know. All I know is I have a story, and the more I tell it, the more I heal, the more I can tell without being ashamed of it, or, being like I was supposed to be a Christian, and here I was fornicating. That part right there really hurts, because when you know better, we ought to do better. But if we haven't totally submitted, or we have let somebody trick us off and underneath God, I would say I was kind of tricked in a way. The trickery was, I was thinking I was going to go from being a girlfriend to a wife, and that didn't happen. It didn't happen, y'all. But let me play you a little bit more of this song, though, because the song was juicy. I just can't play it all at once. And then I'm going to let y'all go. But peace, love, and happiness. Keep an eye out. Go follow me on TikTok at Miss Coco Bowden. That's who I am on TikTok. And I may come back on later tonight, and you may be able to see me live, ask me questions, whatever you want. I'm going to be open as I can be. If it's something I can answer, I'll do it. I'll talk to you. I'll never call names, though, but I will talk to you. All right, let's see if this song going to play for us. I ain't going to play it all either. From what she had done, but I took the man in when she threw him away. And some of you old women, I know you understand. Losers, weepers, finders, keepers, it's the